What's up? Thanks for coming on. My name is Alexander Farmer. I'm the host, and today we have a special guest. Feel free to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your art.
Hello everyone, my name is James. I go by boxhaed. I'm a digital artist and illustrator from Nigeria. I make art along the lines of portraits, character designs, character illustrations, merch designs, and pretty much depends on what is requested. And my art is so far so good. It's been a lot about exploration for now. I make portraits and some illustrations just to try out different techniques. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
What kind of meaning does it bring to you to be able to express yourself creatively?
Well, I would say a sense of joy and excitement because anytime I get to make something, I'm always hit with the idea of I was able to make this now, and if I had stopped somewhere along the way, I wouldn't have been able to. So I always get excited to what else can I create whenever I finish something, like what more is out there for me to just get my hands on to make and illustrate, that sort of thing. So always excited and always happy I'm even able to do it to a certain level. And not only that, it just surprises me how far I've come in making things and just creating things, because I always look back on my previous sketchbooks and look at them and see all those days of practice, all those days of sketching, trying out different things really just shows me the excitement just keeps up piling up and saying, yeah, I just have to keep on going.
Obviously, art goes far beyond fine art, right? There are graphic designers, there are UI, UX designers, right? There are animators, things like that. What I've been thinking about and talking about with some of the other podcast guests has been this idea of the role of the creative in a corporate setting being dissolved, replaced by AI. And it's a bit of a brutal truth to confront, because if it's true, right, then that means that that means a big course trajectory for mankind. I mean, you see companies like Coca-Cola make commercials by AI, right? And it kind of scares you as a creative. So, do you think that that corporations, right, always taking not necessarily shortcuts, but compromising on prior techniques or strategies of hiring real everyday people to be creative directors and things like that, and also lower down the ladder, right? Everything, everyone below the head honcho of visual identity, corporate visual identity, and things like that, and advertising. Does that terrify you? Does that, are there people that you work with that are kind of threatened in that way?
Yeah, I'd say so because in the long run, AI is getting better, and people are aware of it. So right now, creators are just trying to improve on their own skills and really just focus on brands or corporations that would hire human artists. Sure, there are not a lot of them, but that's outside of our power. We can't really do much about that. So for now, yes, people are. I would say a couple of people I know, they are annoyed by it mostly. They are not really threatened, but they are much more annoyed by it. But also trying to focus on brands that hire and request actual artist services. So yeah.
I think the other side of that argument is maybe corporations and things like that, companies, they won't have as great a need for these kinds of resources. And so, in turn, artists can pursue their own brand and artistic identity, right? The idea of romanticism, of following after one's own heart and seeing where it takes you. So, I mean, you could see it that way, with a load being taken off creators, in that they no longer have corporate sponsorship, but we might see a kind of renaissance come out of that. But, I mean, these are just a couple angles. How about you talk about something you'd like about yourself, and just have fun with it. That's what this podcast is for, is really just like throwing stuff out there, any advice, things like that for like-minded individuals. That's what I'm making this for, is to have both guests on as well as people that are looking to become artists, because it's an exclusively artist podcast. I'm an artist, you're an artist. So, yeah, what pointers would you give somebody, or even just like, I don't know, advice?
Advice. Well, in my opinion, I would always recommend getting good at drawing, because that's something you can do regardless of the medium you're in. Even with paint, you could draw with paint, you could draw with pencils. So I'd always recommend getting good at drawing, and really just try to have fun with it. Even on the worst days, even on the really bad days, just try and retain that level of excitement you feel whenever you're creating. That's one thing I would always recommend.